Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today is a very fun day for me because I am getting to share with you guys this oil painting. I feel like I have a lot I want to talk about and not enough time to cover it, so if I get a little jumpy and rambly, then forgive me you guys. I'm just really excited. So this painting, as well as another painting that I have been working on, are my first two official full oil paintings, and I really have enjoyed the process. While there is some positives and negatives, which I'll get to in a little bit, but right here you can see that I am just prepping my panels. These are Baltic birch panels from Treckle, and I have really found this joy for painting on wood, and the last time that I actually have completed a painting on wood was when I did my pet portrait of all three of my huskies. I put them all in one painting, and I will probably try to reference that actually for you guys again because it's been a while and I never got video footage of it. So right here I am just going through and I'm taking some of my Gamblin Gamvar and I am priming these panels. I did a couple coats of this, waited for it to dry, and once dry I was able to start my painting. But I just found that I really like the look of raw wood, and I had considered using gesso as my means to prime these surfaces, but again I really like the just natural look, so I decided to give this a try. I discovered this, since I am new to oil painting, I discovered this from watching Lena Danya's YouTube channel, which I'll link her down below. You guys probably already know who she is, but she is a great teacher, I feel like, when it comes to oil painting, even though she herself is self-taught. So I feel like that really helps me, and somebody like me who is also completely self-taught as well. Yeah, so I just got finished prepping up those paintings, and oh my goodness, oil painting is just this whole other just world of emotions for me. I've really enjoyed it, but at the same time there are certain things that I really admire about acrylic paint. So getting started, I started this piece as an entry for a pet portrait competition. So now that I'm starting to really get back into the grind with my art and painting, I feel like I had hit this huge burnout phase back in the beginning of summer, probably around May, I want to say. Just there was things piling on, one thing after another, and I had just completely burnt myself out. I was going really hard with my artwork and creating new paintings every week, and it just eventually all caught up to me, and I hadn't even realized that was happening until after the fact. So now that I'm kind of back in the grind and back doing this, I feel really good. It feels really good to be back into, you know, my normal routine, and I just feel like I have been needing it. You don't notice, well, how much that your art and your just your business and your painting and everything, at least for me, just became a part of me. So I had felt like something was off, and I just had felt off for the past several months. So that's part of the reason why it feels really good to just be back and to be painting again. So I figured what way to start back up with my weekly paintings and my videos here on YouTube and just sharing my artwork with you guys than to just try something new. So that's kind of why I'm here painting an oil painting today. So this, as you guys know, I've already said it, but this was my first time painting with oils, and it was very different in comparison to what I'm used to, but different in a good way. So back in May, I had actually had my childhood best friend, which was actually the dog that's in this portrait. He had passed away. He was a very old dog, and we had to unfortunately put him down, and it was a really hard time for me. And a lot of my siblings and members of our family, just because he was such a good dog. And yeah, so it was a really hard time to just kind of top off my creative burnout and just all the personal things that were going on in my life. And I really felt the need to just kind of portray how important he was to me, just by doing a painting of him. So his name was Pepper, and he was a really great dog. He was an Australian Shepherd, and he had helped us through with a lot of just personal rough times growing up, and he was just always a great dog, and he was our childhood best friend. You know, he was our first dog we had ever gotten, and he was always a very loyal and fun little guy, and he was just a great dog all around. So when he passed away in May, it was completely heartbreaking for the longest time, and it still is when you think about it. You know, I don't feel like that will ever really go away, but yeah, so basically I had thought at the time that I really wanted to create a portrait of him and to dedicate a painting, and that way I would have just a fun way to remember him by and have his portrait up in our house, and I just thought it would be something sentimental and special. So around the same time, I noticed that I was placing an order for some new wooden panels like the one that you see me painting on here in this video, but I had ordered these actually from Treckle. If you haven't heard of Treckle, I've talked about them before, and I think my acrylic painting supplies video, I'll link that down below. But basically, Treckle is where I order a lot of my panels, and it's where I get a lot of my Gamblin products, such as the oil paint that I'm using in this video. So I'd seen that they were doing a special promotion where I think it was actually for in honor of National Pet Day, or National, I think, was it National Dog Day? I don't know. That they were doing a pet portrait contest. And they had these particular diamond kind of shaped birch panels that were on sale, and I think they were only $10, and then they send you along instructions on how to enter their contest. So I just thought that that would be a really fun opportunity. It's free to enter. So I thought it'd be just a great way to get back into my art while also creating my memorial piece and being able to enter it into the contest. So that is what I have been up to lately. I actually did end up ordering 2 of these panels, which you might have seen in the beginning. I have another portrait dedicated to the same dog, Pepper, that you'd seen me priming in the beginning of this video. And I was going to paint both of them and then just choose whichever one I thought looked the best and send that in for my application into the contest. However, I will say that I had got my order, I want to say in the end of July, so it's been a month, and I'm really kicking myself now because I totally underestimated the amount of time it takes for acrylic or for oil paintings to dry and for the layers to be ready to be able to paint it, to add another layer on. And I'm really regretting that I didn't start these sooner, but you know, you live and you learn, and now that I know better, I know that when I'm planning for future paintings and such, that I'm going to need extra time in regards to oil painting. So yeah, all of that to say, that is the purpose of this video. Between the 2 portraits, I had started the other portrait, and the other one is maybe, I don't know, maybe halfway finished. So this one was the closest to being done. So I figured I would go with this one, and you know, I'm not really expecting a lot to come from the contest. It's just kind of, it was a fun way for me to get back into the groove and to give myself a deadline and to just get back to work. So that's kind of the purpose of this painting, and now I have this new piece of our beloved Pepper, and I am going to be able to hang him up in my home and just enjoy it for years to come. And when I do look at this piece, it makes me really, really happy. So now that you guys know kind of just what's been going on, and you know, I'm getting back into everything, I just want to talk a little bit about oil painting versus acrylics. So, oh my goodness, Now, I want to add a disclaimer into here just for anybody that may be new to my channel, and, you know, just, I don't want anyone to get kind of the wrong idea. I am completely self-taught, and when it comes to oil painting, it was a new challenge for me just because of the color mixing and learning to get that kind of the shades that I want, and it's a process of improvement. I think I'm getting better at it, but I am not by any means a teacher, and this is just all ways that I paint, and this is just how I do it. So I don't want anybody to, think that I'm trying to tell you this is how it should be done, because that's not the case at all. Coming from someone who had taught herself how to paint using acrylics, and now I'm kind of doing the same thing with oils. I'm just kind of a learn as I go kind of person. So that's pretty much my approach into, looking at oil painting and getting into just starting this new medium. Okay, so we kind of already talked about it, but the biggest thing when it comes to comparing acrylic paints versus oils is the amount of time it takes to dry. I used to be able to just bang through all of my acrylic paintings within a couple days. I could be done with a painting, and even a large scale painting too, like 16 by 20s were what I used to work on the regular, and I would pop one of those out every week. And granted, my technical skills and my just the amount of details I add into my works have been changing over time as I'm getting more experience with painting. But yeah, the amount of time that it takes for oils to dry is just, it's crazy to me, and I feel like that is the biggest reason, or the biggest con, at least when it comes to me, just because I know that I am not the most patient person when it comes to creating my art. When I'm inspired and I'm just feeling like I'm in the zone and I'm working on a piece, I want to just be able to keep going until I can't anymore, until I physically am too tired, or whatever the case may be. But then even with the acrylic paintings, working on them that way, I could just hop back into it the next day. And I've had to learn with the oils that I just need to be patient, and I'm not going to be able to do it all in one sitting, at least not to the depth of detail and the desired, or I'm not going to be able to get that desired look in one sitting. So that's the first thing, is the amount of time that I'd noticed right away off the bat. The next thing I will say is, after you get that first initial really runny, watery layer, especially on the wood, because the wood tends to absorb that a little bit, after you get that first layer done and you're able to start piling on the extra layers, I was amazed at just how well the oils were able to glide onto the surface, and how they were just, I don't know, I really like the buttery consistency, and I've talked about this before in other videos, I'm sure. That's kind of a phrase I know that I've said before. But I really, really just loved the look of the oils, and I just, in comparison to acrylics, things blended so much easier. And granted, while it does suck that it takes so long for layers to dry, if I noticed a mistake later on, I would just be able to blend it in or fix it with a lot less trouble, and I really did enjoy that as well. So you have, of course, the drying time, that it's very different, and then you also have just the ease of blending and the buttery consistency. Those are things that stood out to me right away. But also, I feel like in a comparison to the acrylics, at least, maybe it's just the brand of acrylic paint that I'm used to, I noticed that the colors are a lot more rich looking, and I really just love the soft glow, and it's a lot easier, I feel like, to paint realistically, or to paint realism when using oil paints, just because I feel like it's easier to paint the light shining off of the object. And I don't know, I really enjoyed this aspect when it comes to painting in comparison to working on my acrylic paintings in the past. So yeah, those are the main things that kind of stood out to me as I was working on this piece. If it wasn't for the deadline and the fact that they do take longer to dry, I would probably spend a little bit more time on this piece, but I started to get to that point where I was happy with it. While there's always more that you can add, I just had felt like it was time. So I called this piece quits, and I'm happy with the overall outcome of it. And I think I have 2 days. Yeah, it's 2 days until the entries are due. So I am going to be photographing and editing the overall result of my little project here, and I'm going to be turning it in. Like I said, my first time painting with oils, I didn't really know what to expect, but after looking at the finished piece and seeing it kind of collectively in comparison to what I'm used to seeing as far as my acrylic works, I'm really happy with how it turned out. In the future, I think I'm probably going to be doing a mixture of both acrylics and oil paintings. That way I'm able to, when I'm stuck on an oil painting and I can't add any more, I think I'm going to just switch to doing acrylic. That way I can, just get my creative energy out, and I'm able to actually get something completed within a timely manner without having to wait for things to dry and all of that. So, and that was also a great suggestion from my husband, to just kind of keep alternating and just go with the flow and do a little bit of both. So that's what I'm going to be doing. That's what I'm planning in the future. And I'm not quite sure if it's going to make much of a difference. I haven't, since this painting is still wet and I need to photograph it for the contest, I don't have enough time to add the varnish. Now, normally when I put on my varnish, I use Gamvar. No, not Gamvar. Is it Gamvar? I can't even think right now. Yeah, it's the Gamvar Gloss is the varnish that I used to use on my acrylic paintings. But I thought with the oil painting I would give the satin varnish a shot, and I grabbed that, and yeah, so I wonder how it's going to look after I give it a little bit of that varnish. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Overall, I did kind of the best I could with the amount of time that I had, so I'm not really expecting to win first prize or place really at all. I just, like I said, it was a fun way to kind of get myself motivated to get a piece done, and it feels so good. I love the painting. It's so sentimental to me. Little Pepper laying with the pumpkins. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and kind of my take on using oil painting versus acrylics. And yeah, I feel like I'm at the point of babbling now, so I'm going to probably call it quits here soon. Before I leave though, I wanted to let you guys know that I am going to be relaunching my Patreon page. Yay! So a couple months ago I had announced that I was discontinuing my Patreon just because I didn't have a lot of activity on there, and I wanted to redirect my energy towards other areas of my business that were doing better. And a friend of mine that I had met on Instagram just pledged to me, and she's now a patron, and she is so sweet, and I am so excited. And Morgan, if you're watching this, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm really excited to have her join my Patreon family, and I'm hoping that that community will just continue to grow. So I just wanted to announce that I am going to be relaunching my Patreon page beginning on the 1st of September. So that's really just a few days away now. So I've got a lot of work to do, and I'm just really excited to get back on that platform just because I've missed it, and I've missed sharing my art in just the most authentic and personal way. So if you guys are interested in hearing more about Patreon or what that is, then please stay tuned, because I'm probably going to be doing a video on it. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know and invite you all, because the more the merrier on that channel, really, and I just love sharing my art with people. So that would be an awesome way for you guys to get to know me a little bit better, a little more personally. So yeah, that is going to be linked below, and that's just QuinDu Creations on Patreon, and I would love to have you guys join my family there. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this painting today. It's a very special piece to me, as I've already said, of my dog Pepper, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I added a new listing in my shop, and that is for a pet portrait done by me on a panel of wood similar to this one. It will be birch, however it will be circular shape, and it's not going to be the same exact diamond shaped dimensions of this painting, but I just wanted to let you guys know if you're interested. I would be happy to paint one of these for you, or a family member, or what have you. I love painting dogs especially. I've found this passion for it since I do love painting my huskies and wolves and everything as well. So if you enjoyed it and you are interested, then take a look at my shop. The link is going to be down below, and I just wanted to remind everybody that I am also doing a sale in my shop for Labor Day. It ends September 2nd, and the code is Labor Day. Save 15% off. Thank you guys so much. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Love you guys. Keep creating.